Dancing with the Stars just began its 29th season, and I must say, that's an extremely impressive achievement. But as someone who's watched the show for years, attended 3 tapings, and even mingled with the cast, it's become clear to me that Dancing with the Stars is no longer a show about dancing or stars. What's happening?
Dancing the Paso Doble with her partner Pasha, it's Carole Baskin.
Carole Baskin being a contestant on this season confirms my theory that every celebrity who appears on the show must fit into one of the following quantifiable categories. Controversial figures, people who want to boost their career, people who want to revive their career, athletes wanting to cross over into entertainment, boy band or girl group members, or people involved with an ABC or Disney television show. There's nothing wrong with most of those people. In fact, I love rooting for any contestant who puts in the work to become a good dancer, especially when they've overcome obstacles, like Billy Dee Williams appeared on the show after having 2 hip replacements, or Normani competing every week despite having to fly back and forth from Asia to Hollywood every week to accommodate her touring schedule with Fifth Harmony at the time. But if I had to provide one unifying reason why someone would appear on Dancing with the Stars, it wouldn't be because they're a star. This is in no way the fault of the contestants or the incomparable pro dancers, but putting them on a show called Dancing with the Stars is just false advertising because there's no stars on the show. And sure, you might be thinking, okay Matthew, the contestants are all stars in my eyes, but for a moment, just imagine if this was the lineup for season 30. Beyonce, Robert De Niro, Oprah Winfrey, Tom Holland, Drake, Steve Harvey, Anne Hathaway, The Rock, Jennifer Aniston, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ariana Grande, and Scarlett Johansson. First and foremost, those stars are just too busy. But let's say that miraculously, producers were able to coordinate the show's schedule to allow for those stars to appear. Would Meryl Streep or Robert Downey Jr. really want to go on a show that regularly has blunders like this?
9.
If you didn't catch what the problem was there, the camera was supposed to be on the judges revealing their scores after a dance, but it just wasn't. I've been to a lot of live TV show tapings, and Dancing with the Stars is by far the most actually live show of them all. But this was so bad that they ended up fixing it for the West Coast broadcast.
9.
Len Goodman.
It's a 9.
Bruno Tonioli.
9.
Last season had a number of general camera work complaints, but 2 that generated headlines were when they zoomed into snot coming out of Sailor Brinkley Cook's nose, and when they got an angle of Lamar Odom doing, well...
Like, I can't even speak, I was so excited.
His balls itch.
But let's say they fixed all of the camera work problems. Would this show really be worth their time?
We've combined the judges' scores from tonight with your live votes. Now, in no particular order, let's find out who's safe and who's in the bottom 2.
The first couple who is safe is... everybody! Nobody goes home!
One thing that everybody liked about the show were the host Tom Bergeron and his sidekick Erin Andrews. Tom Bergeron especially offered witty and humorous banter after every performance, no matter what went right or wrong. He was the heart and soul of the show. But in a shocking turn of events this past summer...
Well, 2020 is something else, y'all, because Tom Bergeron dropped a ballroom bombshell. He is out at Dancing with the Stars, and so is co-host Erin Andrews.
Well, at least the judges are still there. People like Bruno Tonioli's animated reviews of all the dances, Carrie Ann Inaba advice on technique, and...
Oh my gosh.
There we go, sorry. It wasn't my fault.
I I was actually sitting in the audience, like 5 feet behind her when that happened, and I totally saw it coming a split second beforehand, but it was a hard fall, and she played it off on air like she was fine, but they had PAs rushing to get her ice. But the other judge, Len, incorrectly thought that they were going to take an extended commercial break to deal with the fall, and he got up to go to the bathroom, but he was turned around walking out of the studio as the show was about to come back from commercial, and producers were yelling for him to turn around, but he didn't hear them, and I think Sean Spicer ended up running after him. But Len is known for his sometimes unpopular but brutally honest feedback, which is a must-have for the audience watching at home.
Former Strictly Come Dancing head judge, Len Goodman has been replaced on the forthcoming season of Dancing with the Stars. The 76-year-old, who currently resides in the UK, will not appear on the show due to the ongoing travel restrictions due to the coronavirus pandemic. Instead, his seat will be filled by professional Latin and ballroom dancer, Derek Huffley.
So that brings us to this season. In addition to Carole Baskin dancing to Eye of the Tiger, and by the way, imagine the outrage if O.J. Simpson came on the show and did a dance to Smooth Criminal, but Tyra Banks is the new host of Dancing with the Stars, replacing both Tom Bergeron and Erin Andrews. When the announcement was first made, the outrage was universal, but after seeing her on the premiere episode of season 29, the outrage is still universal. Tyra Banks is blasted on Twitter as fans react to her Dancing with the Stars host debut after replacing Tom Bergeron and Erin Andrews. Can she be the first one sent home? I have nothing against Tyra Banks, and I thought she ended up doing a pretty good job hosting America's Got Talent a few years back. But based on the first episode of Dancing with the Stars, this is definitely not the ideal fit for her. But the same can be said for many legendary entertainers who have appeared on the show.
Hello?
Hey, it's your agent.
Oh, hi.
Listen, I've got some work for you.
Oh, what is it? Is it a movie? A series?
Well, it's kind of a series about dancing.
I remember my prom like it was yesterday. Is it a film about dancing? Who will I play? A choreographer or a...
Yeah, it's sort of like that, but it's called Dancing with the Stars. What's wrong? Do you have the virus? It sounds like you can't breathe.
Has it really come to that? You know, I co-starred in a movie with Judy Garland.
Yes, we all know that, but look, you've got to face reality. That was a long time ago, and The Masked Singer said no, so I think that this is the best opportunity for you.
I used to literally dance with the stars.
And you still can. Just listen to this year's contestants. We have Carole Baskin.
No.
When some of these contestants who were big stars at one time come on the show, sometimes I wonder if people are voting for them because of their dancing or because they're fans of their work. He's not a legendary entertainer, but I know that Sean Spicer lasted 8 weeks solely because the President of the United States tweeted for his supporters to vote for him, despite the fact that he consistently got the lowest scores of the week and put little to no effort into improving his dance technique. A lot of people also get mad when contestants with dance experience come on the show, and they will purposefully not vote for them as they consider it unfair competition. But by doing that, you're holding the contestant accountable for something they have no control over, as they didn't have a say in who the other stars would be. After all, there's literally been seasons with just professional athletes before. When controversial Olympic athlete Ryan Lochte went on the show, a large group of protesters actually stormed the stage and caused a scene on live TV.
It's a good show, a positive show. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Another strange situation was when Christie Brinkley was supposed to go on the show as a contestant, but then just before premiere week, she broke a bone practicing. But then her daughter, Sailor Brinkley Cook, took her place. But then Christie Brinkley's friend and former Dancing with the Stars contestant herself, Wendy Williams, accused Christie Brinkley of faking an injury to put her daughter in the spotlight. And I have to say, that would be a brilliant plan, but I don't think that's what happened. The show does air live on the East Coast, and a few seasons back, ABC ABC got rid of the result shows that used to take place the following night. And that means that voting now takes place during the show and the elimination happens at the end of the show. And since it airs live on the East Coast, it's delayed 3 hours on the West Coast, meaning that only people on the East Coast and Central time zones are able to vote, having seen the dancing in the show. It's also listed clearly in the show's credits that the producers reserve the sole right to not pay attention to the votes from America and make decisions of who to send home at their discretion. I would like to think that they don't mess with the votes, but too often do I question result shows when an elimination seems like it conveniently happened to keep the most controversial star on the show another week and then boost ratings for ABC. But for a lot of people, this isn't too much of an issue because they just watch the highlights of the show once it's all said and done afterwards on YouTube. One observation I've made is that when ABC expects a particular performance to garner a lot of buzz online after the show, they pay for the rights to the original song the contestant is dancing to, rather than have the usual cover band perform a rendition to it. There's been more than a few instances when a dance has seemed less stellar than it actually was due to the cover band's vocalists struggle to hit the right notes, and that's unfortunate. But hey, if you go on Dancing with the Stars, you'll get to appear on Good Morning America, once before the season and once after your time on the show comes to an end, and that's fun. Now, I'll be the first to admit, despite all of the shenanigans I discussed, putting the controversies aside, this show keeps me on the edge of my seat for 2 hours of entertainment each week that I get nothing out of, but for some reason I keep coming back to. I mean, I love the amazing announcer voice that says,
Carrie-Ann Inaba.
The sparkling score number paddles, and ABC must be doing something right to have received 108 Emmy nominations. Who knows, if this video blows up, maybe they'll invite me on the show as a star. I mean, with the direction the show is going, that's not out of the question. Okay, maybe it is, but I'd love that. And although I've yet to learn much at all about dancing and all the times I've watched Dancing with the Stars, it's one of my favorite shows to watch, even more fun to attend in person, and it'd be amazing to participate in. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help out if you could subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Be sure to leave a comment down below with your thoughts if you have any. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!